Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of Tech. We are here with Shia today from Tender Bloom Studios. So hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, I'm glad to have you on today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So let's just hop right in. How did you start your journey to becoming an esthetician, and what also interested you to jump into the field?
So, originally I was a cosmetologist.
Okay.
And, I loved color, that was my thing. But somewhere in between that, I kind of started falling out of love with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on a journey of where I was searching for what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So I tried lash extensions, brows, like I kind of just jumped in a little bit of everything. And I got a job at European Wax Center.
Okay.
And once I started doing body waxing, it was just like, yeah, this is home. Mm-hmm. This is what I want to do. So then I started dibbling that a little bit.
Okay. And you were able to do that because you had your cosmetology license, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So in Connecticut, if you have your cosmetology license,
mm-hmm.
you can get an esthetician license because cosmetology is more hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to apply for a license, and then I was able to get it. And then I took continuing education classes, different places to build up that education, because I didn't go to aesthetic school.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's good to know. But so, now, because I don't know if they changed the laws, but now, if you were a cosmetologist now,
mm-hmm.
would you have to go back to school, or do you still just need your cosmetology license?
You still need your cosmetology license, mm-hmm. just because it has 1,500 hours.
Okay.
So, and I think, but estheticians is 600,
mm-hmm.
so they just say, oh, you're qualified.
Okay.
But like I said, I did do continuing education classes,
right,
because I don't advise just to start
waxing
waxing on people and doing stuff without having that knowledge.
Mm-hmm. And I think we are honestly one of the few states that are able to kind of jump into it like that, where
mm-hmm.
other states are a
more
little bit more strict.
Yeah, for sure.
Virginia is a very strict state when it comes to aesthetics. There's just a lot that they cannot do, and I'm just oh, I thought we couldn't do a lot. And
oh, wow.
So they're very strict there. So I just wanted to ask, what is your favorite thing about being an esthetician, or is there a specific niche that you love to do? If you could only do one thing, what would that be?
I would say body waxing.
Okay.
It's my go-to, that's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But more recently I started falling in love with the body care aspect of it.
Okay.
So the intimate brightening pills,
mm-hmm.
different treatments for dark spots, because I feel as if in our industry body care kind of gets looked over a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When you think of facials, you think okay,
right.
chemical pills for the face, or different what is my skincare routine. You don't really think about that body care routine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people have things that they want to work on themselves in their most intimate areas, right. And they don't have that person to go to. So I kind of felt with waxing, that's the perfect way for me to introduce that, because
mm-hmm.
I'm already seeing order right. privacy, so I kind of felt oh, let me add that. So I've been trying to merge the both of those things together.
For a client who, say you just did a wax, just say you want to introduce body care to them, how do you kind of do that?
And it's a new person.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it just depends on how the vibe is between me and that person.
Okay.
Because say if I'm doing a Brazilian, I had some people to be girl, is there something I could do about these dark spots?
Mm-hmm.
Or and then that kind of opens up the conversation for
right.
it. But if it's a new person, I kind of focus on the beginning things, let's work on you exfoliating. So
right.
I kind of put them on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then as time comes, they'll get more comfortable, and then hey, can you help me with this too?
Right.
I kind of let them take control over that part,
mm-hmm.
because it is intimate. Because some people, they might not care that they have dark spots.
Right. Yeah.
So I kind of I do the wax, I do the service, and then just depending on how I feel we're going,
mm-hmm.
I'll introduce at a later time.
Yeah, and that makes sense, because when you first have that first client at first, it's like, oh, like, hey, we kind of just like learning, and then when they come back, like that second or third time, it's like, oh, hey, girl, like,
right.
what's happening? Yeah, what's happening in life? So it's like, okay, now we can talk about more about how we can personally take care of you and your goals and your body goals. So I like that a lot. Yeah. What would you say is like your favorite part about being an esthetician?
I would say building a relationship with people, because I don't know how I'm forgetful with things like on a day to day, but if I have a client come in, like we talking like, so how did that date go?
Right.
You remember like little things and like your boyfriend did what? Like you know everything. When that person comes, it's like a breath of fresh air to have those conversations, and they know some things about you too, like how's the baby, and it's like a real community that you build with them. Right. They become like your extended family in a way, and I think that's my favorite thing because they're in their most vulnerable space, and for them to feel like that comfortable just having regular conversation, that like it just warms my heart. Right.
And I feel like a lot of people nowadays, they don't have like that one-on-one person they could be able to talk to, and sometimes like say it's like a client who's new, but like you guys have like a good vibe and like they're starting to like open up, and you realize like, oh, like they might not have someone to be able to kind of talk to, and just being able to be that person for them is an absolute amazing feeling. So I definitely would agree. Yeah. What would you say is one of the biggest challenges you have had so far?
And within my business?
Within your business specifically. Or even like in school too, like, well, never mind, because you didn't actually really go to aesthetic
right.
Not like that, not like
I get you. She was like, no, I get you.
Yes.
I would say, I think the time frame of everything changed. So, I got licensed like 12 years ago. And social media wasn't like, it was there, but it wasn't like, you didn't have to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
So I felt like when I decided to make that change, it was like, now I gotta get on camera. Like, how do I do this? Like, I was real shy, and I still am. But I think that's definitely been challenging for me with being more active on social media and like putting myself out there and like my personality. I think that's like definitely something that I'm working with still. Yeah.
And this is not even a question, but this is a question in my head. So like, if you could, to your challenge, what would you offer someone a piece of advice to overcoming that challenge?
Break it into small pieces. Like break it into, even if it's like the smallest thing, just do it. Right. That's number one. Number two, do not compare yourself to other estheticians. Do not try to copy off of other people's content. You have to be true to yourself. And with that, I think it'll be, like it'll be authentic. So, and when I say break it into pieces, like even if you just get on your camera and just start recording yourself, like cleaning up at your studio, or like taking photos of like interacting with your customers if they're comfortable with that. Like small things where you wouldn't even think like, oh, is that content? Make it content. Right. And if you keep doing that over time, you'll feel more comfortable. Okay.
And have you incorporated any of that so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely. That's how I first got started. I would just like put my camera up, my phone, and I would just be cleaning my studio or like putting wax on my waxing pot or like organizing my little things like that. Kind of got me comfortable with the camera actually just being there. Right. First, instead of trying to compare myself to other estheticians and then like jump in it and do something that I don't feel comfortable doing because I feel like I need the views. Right. It's like, no, you don't. You gotta be true to yourself, and then it'll start to feel real. Yeah,
more comfortable too. Do you have like a system of how like often you post or how often you want to post?
So I have a system of how often I want to post. I don't always follow that system. I'm trying to get better at that. But I just feel like starting out, just do it.
Right.
Just do it. And even the like posting schedule, you have to do what works for you at first and see. Like, you don't have to post videos every single day, but just like sit down and figure out like, okay, like this is where I am and this is where I want to be, and make up a plan that's gonna work for you.
Right.
Because everything is like really individualized, I think, in this industry. And I think a lot of people don't think like that. They want to compare.
Right. And that's why I feel like it almost doesn't work out, because you're trying to match somebody else when really it's not you. And then you start feeling so overwhelmed. You feel like you can't do this, but really you're trying to be somebody else. And you're not. You're only you. So for me, for example, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to post every single day. Just right off the bat when I first started. I think it was January of last year. Yes, I believe so. When I first started like getting back into aesthetics, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna post every single day. By day 3, I was done. I was absolutely done, because I had no schedule, I had no system, I barely had any content. Like, how am I gonna try to post every single day and I don't have content? I didn't have anything like laid out. So what I started doing was, I was like, okay, I'm gonna post once a week. That's all. And then as I start doing certain stuff and feel like it's working for me, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm like, okay, I feel like I can post twice a week. I'm going to add that. And now I have gotten to the point where I do post twice a day, but it's only because I've worked up to that point where I'm able to post twice a day. But a thing that works for me is, it may sound a little crazy. But literally on Saturdays, I call it like my content day. I'm like scheduling out everything, creating captions, but I'll literally take about 3 to 4 hours just like creating the post, editing the post, and I'll schedule everything from today, Saturday, all the way until next week, Saturday. Everything is scheduled out and laid out. But I couldn't have done that if I didn't take the steps that I needed to before.
I was just going to say that. Imagine being new and then saying, like, this is what I have to do. You're going to get overwhelmed.
Right. So that's,
you worked your way up to that point.
Literally. That's exactly why I do. And then if I, like, say I have a busy, like, weekend, and I'm like, okay, I didn't post. When I find myself trying to post like during the timing of, it takes me about like 40 minutes, almost an hour, just trying to create that one post versus like a whole week of content just taking like that 5 hours. So you really honestly have to find what works for you, literally. Yeah. And just trying out different stuff, even like people are like, oh, I do this. Try whatever you took out of what they said, whatever you value out of what they gave you, and then like using that as a routine as well, because we can't be anybody besides ourselves.
Amen, girl.
How long have you been in business for?
I've been solo for the past 6 years.
Okay.
On and off. I took some time off. I had kids. I got married. So I think I'm just recently, more so now, investing in this 100%.
Right.
This is like my first time of this, treating this like my all, and not treating it like, oh, well, like I work and then I do my business. I do this, then I do my business. This is like the first time ever that I'm like, this is everything. I'll get to pour out everything. Yeah. So that's good. I can literally see like the light when you say that. Like, girl, it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. I was so nervous. I was so scared. Yeah. But I gotta do it.
Right. You gotta take the risk.
Gotta take the risk.
Have you ever had a difficult client or a situation, and how did you handle it?
Girl.
Story time.
So I had someone get a Brazilian before. Never did any type of like waxing. And this is when I was at European Wax Center. And the girl was scared. Yeah. And when I mean scared, I mean like literally like getting in a ball, grabbing my hand. When I tell you that Brazilian took forever, I want to say at least it took like an hour and a half. Just to like get through the wax.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say patience had to be my friend that day.
Yeah.
Because I had people nervous, but I never had like people like literally like grabbing my hand before
There's
I like
a difference between nervous and scared. There is.
She was definitely like scared. She was terrified.
Mm-hmm.
But we got through it after that hour and a half. And girl, she didn't even have a lot of hair anyway. So I was just like, imagine if she had like a bush. She wouldn't have made it.
Mm-hmm.
But she actually, I thought that was like a bad experience in my head, but after, she literally was like crying and she gave me a hug and she was like, thank you so much for like
taking the
being
time
patient with me, and you know, you didn't get frustrated with me, because I get it. You know, at the same time, me getting frustrated with her isn't gonna
do anything.
It's not gonna
make it any faster.
And she was just like, girl, like, I think I'll get my underarms waxed or something, but I'm not ready for the Brazilian. I'm like, that's good, but now you know. So that was like a tough situation, or like I don't want to say bad, but you know,
just difficult,
a difficult situation. But I took something from it.
Right.
So I was just like, okay.
And I think that's so important. Like when you have like those difficult or like hard situations, what you can learn to it and how you can like add value to it. Because it's like at the end of the day, like maybe she just needed that hug. She needed like to let out those tears. So like when you can take those sides of things, I think is very important to take that. Okay, so how do you stay motivated and continue growing your business?
Girl. That was also one of my other struggles. Now, like we were talking about doing things that like work for yourself, that's how I've become stable and being motivated. So I break things down now, and I know that it's not just going to be like an overnight success. Right. So even if I can knock 4 things off my to-do list that day pertaining to my business, no matter how big or small, that gives me the motivation to want to do more. So it's like once I'm checking those things off, I'm like, okay, I could do it. It kind of gets you hyped. So it makes you want to keep doing more. So that's definitely like a system that I started doing, a little checklist. And also affirmations. So I started doing affirmations depending on what mood I'm in. So if I'm feeling like I'm a little unsure, or I'm getting nervous about having to make content this week, I'll make sure that I have an affirmation for the day or each day that pertains to that. And that's been helping. And I will say that affirmation as many times as I need to that day. I'll say it, I'm looking in the mirror, I'll say it. I'll pull up my phone and I say it. Whenever that like self-doubt or whatever issue that I'm going through comes and pops up, I'm saying that affirmation. And lately I just started saying like PVO. Mad randomly in my head, PVO, like positive vibes only. So if it's not positive, like it gotta go somewhere else. Right. Because it's like a snowball. Once you like just let that little bit of self-doubt creep in, it's over. So even if you don't do the affirmations, just be like PVO. PVO. I'll be saying that in my head all day, girl. PVO.
Yeah, you have to find like those little, not even, because I don't want to say like little, but those things that a lot of people don't think about and how much value that it can kind of set. Because I can kind of relate. There's certain stuff I'm like, oh, I don't got no clients this week. Well, if I keep saying I don't have no clients this week, I'm absolutely not going to have any clients this week. And I think it's so important to look at the words that you're saying, because then it's like, I go a week and I'm not even thinking about it. I'm like, oh, this person with me? Okay. But it's like remembering that, like, you're putting in that negative energy by saying that. It's not going to be an outcome with you literally saying those words. And I feel like a lot of people, actually, We all do it. But a lot of people do that so much times a day, like constantly throughout the day, and they wonder why they're not seeing the outcome, they're not seeing the positivity from it, because like they're
draining yourself,
you're
breaking you down.
Exactly, that is literally exactly what you're doing. You're literally putting it out there that you're not getting no clients. It ain't gonna happen. What you saying? Okay, so what is something you wish you knew before starting in the industry?
I would say mindset. Because I feel as if a lot of people think that, oh, I have this gift or I have the talent to do it, which is fine, but your mindset is like really the main thing that you need to be in this industry. Because there's so much negativity, like we were talking about, even with yourself, like that self-doubt, comparing yourself to others. This is really an industry where it's like each person can bring or take different things. So even if me and you did like the same exact services, it's going to be a certain style that I have, and it's going to be a certain style that you have. And knowing that my style is okay for me and yours is okay for you. But if I didn't have that mindset, I would be constantly trying to compare myself to you. I would be constantly trying to reach out to your target audience when that's not even what I want anyway. So I think having that mindset and really like tuning into yourself and knowing who you are is gonna be like the number one thing. You have to know who you are.
Yeah, and like literally, like I feel like even relating exactly back to the last question, it's like people are constantly like fighting to be like I'm the number one in this slot, I'm the number one in this slot. But it's like me and you are two different people. There's people who are coming to me that won't come to you. There's people who are coming to you that will absolutely not want to come to me, and that's perfectly fine. And that's the community that I want to be able to create. Like if there's people who I'm like, oh, you know what, maybe you should go to da-da-da-da-da-da, because I think they would be a better person. You weren't the best fit for me, but I can refer you to someone, versus like, oh, you weren't the right person for me, like now I have nobody for you. Like, no, that's not what that's not the energy that I want you to bring into this community. Because we are like there's a fight, and like there's like, what are you guys trying to win? Like, what are you trying to get out of it? Like, we're supposed to be uplifting each other and building each other up, and there's not enough of that, nearly not enough of that at all. So how do you balance your business life and your personal life?
I'm like really nervous to say, because literally I want to say within the past like 2 weeks maybe I started feeling like, okay, I got this. But I'm scared to say that out loud because life be lifing.
Yeah, it does.
However, for me, I started to break things in smaller tasks. So I have 2 kids. My son's in preschool. My daughter stays home with me. So I used to get so frustrated because I wasn't getting things done that I wanted to get done. And I would like get upset about it and like, maybe this isn't for me, maybe I should have negative self-talk. And then I prayed like, God, show me a sign. And out of nowhere it just came like, you need to come up with a system that works good for you and your family, because I'm blessed and I'm grateful to be able to stay home with her. And I should be pouring that time and energy into her, instead of like getting frustrated because my business isn't going how I want it to go. So I had to take a step back and I would think, what's gonna work for me right now? So I started breaking down little tasks within my business. And girl, when I tell you before, like in my mind, I was gonna get my whole business running up in that whole one day. And when I didn't get everything, I would get frustrated. But I'm like, let's be realistic. That's not about to happen. So what can you do today that's gonna help you get a step further? because you might not have that whole business by the end of the week, but you're a step closer because those little things matter. Those little things add up.
Right.
So even if it's something like DM, checking my DMs and responding, looking at my inventory, seeing what I need to order, little things like that, I started like checking off as wins. So that has helped me too, by breaking things down even in like digestible pieces.
Right.
So I've been doing that. Or if she has to come with me to the studio, if I have to clean the studio, she just gonna come with me while I clean the studio. You just gotta do it.
Right.
So I started living by that, like, I'm gonna just do what I can today.
Yeah.
And if I can't, what I do is I make a list of things that I don't get to. And instead of trying to pressure myself to get all those things off that list, if I have extra time, I'll look and be like, okay, what can I do? What do I feel like doing right now? What can I get off my list? But being a mom and a parent, that's like number one. And I had to accept that. Like, yes, absolutely, you want this, but like, you're pouring into like this child or these children. Like, I have to show up for them. So mom life comes before anything.
Absolutely, yeah.
But for the business, just break it down.
Yeah.
Break it down.
For me, I had to figure out, like, I love a calendar. So like, my calendar, it literally acts as like, breaks down like the day, like what are the top 3 main goals. So I try to always fill out the top 3 main goals, because it's like, knowing that you got, little or big, knowing that you completed something exactly towards like the next step of something makes such a huge difference. So it has the breakdown, and then on the side of the calendar it has like top priority, and then it's like, I'm not sure what the last one says, but that last one, I love that last one. You know why? Because that's all the stuff I want to do. Like, that's fun, that's all the stuff, like, it needs to get done. But it's like, Destiny, you have other stuff you need to focus on before you get all the way down there. Like, so I try to use that as motivation. If I get through all of these that are top priority, then I can get to the fun stuff. Because it's like, I always want to like head there because, oh, I could just do this, I can chill and do this. But it's not important, and it's not going to push me towards the next steps of where I want to go. And for the balancing, like, it's hard. It's hard because it's like, I wanna, absolutely, being a mother is like top priority, but there's days where you're like, oh, like I wanna get this done, but it's like you have to pay attention to a baby. So it's like trying to figure out when you know, like, okay, let me put this away and let me focus on you. And that's something I recently just had to really learn again, because like, these stages, she's 2.5, so these stages is like very vital for her. Whereas like, she's a baby, if she's like drinking something, she's kind of like doing her own kind of thing. It's still very important, but like, you really have to connect and be there. So I'm learning like, okay, put the phone away. I don't need to post this right now. I can do this later, and try to figure out what that schedule is. And another thing for me is I've been waking up earlier, so having like that silent time to be like, okay, once I get through like my meditation, my stretching, whatever it is, then I get to like the business side of it. What do I need to post? What do I need to like send emails to? And doing it then in the morning. So
that's smart.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet, girl. I need all my
That's
sleep.
okay. You take
I
those
need all
steps.
sleep. I wake up when they wake up. And
Yeah, that was, and again, it's those stats, because I would wake up when she wakes up, because I'm tired. I'm literally tired. But it's like, I was mad that I wasn't able to get like this one thing done that I wanted to get done for the whole day. And it took a process, because I wake up at 6 now, but I want to eventually wake up at 5 o'clock. But I'm not going to just jump to 5 o'clock. It's not going to work like that. It's not at all. So I'm going to go to 5:30. So just like increasing it in like ways that work for me, because I used to wake up like 8:30. Like, absolutely, I love the 8:30. But now, like, my routine is just set in the way that I've made it to be able to balance that time that works for me. So, well, if you can go back in time, what would you tell your younger self in the industry?
Be open. Like I kind of said earlier, I was trying to like find other things when I fell out of love with hair. but I felt like I truly didn't experience the whole process of it. It was more so like, I need to figure out what to do now, like next, not actually enjoying it. And I think now the fact that I'm more open to trying things and open to like, well, if it doesn't work this way, let me try this way. I had a much better success with that than just having like tunnel vision.
Right.
I think I would tell my younger self, like, just try it, just be open, don't rush the process. And it's your story.
Who or what inspires you in the industry?
Girl, God. When I tell you, I started trusting him more and going to him more. My whole mindset around running my business became more, I don't want to say easier, but it became more,
less of a load on you.
Less of a load. Because I'm not looking at it now like just a business or like this is a hobby. Like, yeah, this is a hobby. I enjoy doing it, but like this is my purpose. Like this is what I was like created to do. Like I'm doing this so I can help other women. And I think I started reading some books, well, on the audiobook about God and entrepreneurship. And it's just like a beautiful like process. And I never looked at it like that before. So now that I'm combining the two, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like, okay. And I've been able to do more things with that mindset. And I love it. Like, I'm so happy, but it feels like so like unreal. Like, like I'm really flowing when I like loosen up my grip. Or like I'm really flowing when I'm not trying to force it.
Right, yeah.
And like now I do, like I have the space to think clearly. You're an entrepreneur, your head is filled with so many things, so many ideas, but it's like now I feel like I have all these ideas in my head, but I have the path to walk through. And now I couldn't even like, I want to do that, but not yet. Let me stay on track. Let me do this.
Right. So I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for coming on today. I honestly really enjoyed the conversations. Like, I literally, that's the best thing, like knowing someone who's in your industry and really connecting with them and realizing like there is people out there who don't want to compete. There's people out there who want to grow their business and not like rush it and really develop it and, you know, invest in it. So I appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So where can people find you on Instagram? Where are you located?
So I am located in North Haven. You can find me on Instagram at Tender Bloom Skin. You can also find me on TikTok, but I'm not that active on TikTok, so but you can still follow me.
Thank you guys for tuning in.